Brandon,
And I'm Brandon.
and welcome back to Apollo City Comics, your comic book conversation show. Snag that. I hope that's not trademarked. Um,
I like how you keep changing it. Our unscripted comic book commentary, our unscripted movie commentary, our
we got to
interview
make
show.
a list of my improv introductions and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, I've always just said it's just the Everything Comic Book Podcast. Everything Comic Book Podcast.
It really has become that. And you know what? In fact, yes, because our next two episodes are very intense discussions about things that are comic booky but not comic books. Today we're going to talk about what we think about the movie industry. And this isn't like to complain and your typical like this is coming at an angle of you know superhero movies were something that we looked forward to and they were exciting because we were
Mm-hmm.
leading up to it, and now we're very overwhelmed and trying to catch up. But before we dive into that topic, you guys should all do yourselves a favor. And in fact, if you want good quality, awesome comic books and coffee, there's only one place you could get that from, and that's coffeeandacomic.com, where if you use the promotion code Apollo City Podcast, you get 10% off your order. You can set up pull lists. He has all the recent upcoming books. So you could already pre-order, make sure he has everything that you need from every single publisher. This is one of the only places I know where you can get, dude, everything. My comic book shop doesn't even get everything. That just shows like, and this is why we go here and get that. Plus he sends you coffee and just like random cool shit in your package. How can you go wrong with that?
And it's all
Coffee.
delivered to your doorstep.
Yes, you don't have to go anywhere for this comic book shop. You just sit around on your phone, on your couch, on your laptop. You just set up your pull list, and he gets it all for you. Sends you comics and coffee together in one bundle. Coffeeandacomic.com, and use our promo code Apollo City Podcast. So, sir, the movie industry is so insane right now. It's been said before, and somebody just recently said it. I don't recall who, but superhero movies now are like the westerns in the 1950s, where it was saturated, just
Yeah.
insanely saturated.
Well, the other thing too, I forget which famous director said this, but a director said they're kind of like roller coaster rides. That's why there's not a reason to make a big deal about them. You kind of watch them, it's fun for a while, and then you move on.
That was the whole Scorsese thing when
That,
he was
yeah,
just
there we
kind of
go. Yeah.
dissing Marvel. Yeah, yeah. To an extent, I can understand that. I can really understand that to an extent. Um, However, there are like phenomenal ones, and it's hard to now. It's become the thing where, when we were growing up, comic book movies weren't very common. You get one a year, two a year if you're lucky. Some years you didn't even get a superhero movie. You just went the whole year and you're just like, we didn't see a superhero movie at all.
Hmm.
And you would get like abstractions like Sin City coming out, Mystery Men. You know what I mean? But those were like the rarities. But now it's just anything. Umbrella Academy has a TV show that blows my mind. Like it's not the greatest, but I mean that's debatable. But like we're getting a Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings movie. Like that is insane. Like that is deep Marvel territory, which I'm glad. I'm super glad for that.
Yeah, and
But
I'm excited to see that too. Out of all the movies coming out,
mhm, Black Widow as a movie, that's so cool. I can't believe that we're at a point where we're getting Black Widow movies. However, like I don't know, do you feel like it's happening too fast? Has the market just started
um,
spinning too quickly?
I think well, we decided to do this episode because remember I found that article, and this is nothing against like the website. It's just kind of like I was like, oh, here we go. That lifehacker.com article, it
Yeah.
says 15 upcoming comic book movies and what to read before they came out. And I was like, holy shit, there's 15 movies coming out in the next 3 years.
Yeah, that's
Like,
insane. I mean, going from one or two a year to, or, one Marvel movie every summer,
yeah,
like
well,
maybe one
Marvel
wrap up,
releases like 2 or 3 a year now, not including the TV shows.
like every quarter. But yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the thing too, and we're just talking about the movies right now. But the thing is that it's like buying comics, like you have all the tie in issues, and some of them are good and some of them aren't that great, but you're like, all right, I read it. Now I'm not even caught up. I haven't seen Loki. I haven't seen What If. I haven't seen what all of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like everything is just so back to back for me.
Hmm.
Kudos to everyone who fits this into their lives. But I mean, I just how do you how do you consume all that and then catch
Yeah,
the films? And we're in like a pandemic area where there's not a lot coming out. We haven't had a
yeah.
lot in a while,
The
but I
movie
still
industry
can't.
is in a weird spot too.
But I still feel like I can't breathe from all
The
these
amount of
films.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can see that. Like, my thing is like, like you're saying, it's kind of like comics with the tie-in issues and everything, and it's just like, when did you have to? The way I look at this is like, you know, when did I have to plan so much just to like see some movies?
Yeah. There you
You
go
know?
too. You know, looking at these reading lists, I don't even think we read this much to like catch up to all of these films. And
Yeah,
it's weird. It's like it's not one of those things. Oh, there's only like, oh my gosh. All right, we're gonna bring this up when we get to it. Like the central reading list here is Master of Kung Fu Epic Collection, Weapon of the Soul. That's cool, but that's like a pretty. I'm sure that's like a thicker graphic novel. I'm sure it's 200 to 400 pages. I'm gonna
looking
say.
it up right now.
Ba, 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 ba,
Let's
ba, ba, ba,
see.
ba,
Oh
ba.
yeah, let me just go casually read this because it costs $136 on Amazon.
Really?
Yeah, but if you get it on Comixology, it's free to read if you have Comixology Unlimited.
There you go.
Oh boy.
Um, how many pages is it?
Let's see. It's got a lot of old stuff from the 70s. 474 pages.
There you go. Like 500 pages. Like just to, I don't know. It's kind of I don't know. For me when it comes to reading, like I have my required reading, which is like our show. You know, like
Yeah.
that's our
Yeah, we have
that's
our homework.
yeah. We do our homework. We try to plan some stuff out. You know, we choose specific things. We don't cover everything we read. That's impossible. Although you could check out our TikTok. We're doing 1 minute series reviews. Both of us are. Check that out, and it's on Instagram too. But anyways, so that's like our homework. But plus, like I read stuff on the side. I try to like finish off my collection. I try to catch up on weekly readings. I have like the whatever I'm in the mood for at that time. You know.
Hmm.
Um, so I kind of have like a shuffleboard of just like options to read at any point, and then you're adding more stuff on top of the movies. That's like more homework on top of everything. I don't know. I just think it's we don't have like. Is there a series with any of these characters out right now?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure Marvel is going to publish a book that's going to, match that synergy of the movie release. Uh, but before we dive into this list, the other thing I was going to talk about was like, there's two things I have with the comic book movie industry right now. There's too many films, first and foremost. I think, I never thought I'd say this, but there's just too many.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say too many, there's too much hype as well. Like there's too much like build up for when these like the whole Flash movie, the movie's supposed to come out in what 2022, and the amount of like hype around it. And we've seen one picture and a couple articles about Michael
It
Keaton
was
being in it, and it's like Ben
yeah.
Affleck's last film, and it's just like it burns you out. But that's also my whole DC burned out kind of sensation.
Well, regarding that too, that's another dramatically different thing. I think that's what's also burning us out is in the sense of Marvel announces stuff and they pull through.
Yeah.
They plan everything's planned out. Everything they say it is happening or it has happened for the most part.
Hmm.
It's rare that it doesn't. DC, however, kind of just like teases like 10, 20 different projects and then you might get one or two. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the thing I don't get about it. Like you're just being told things and you get excited for them and then you're just like, "Bah, what the where's this Justice League Dark film they've been talking about for a decade?"
That's supposed to be
Or
on like HBO Max or whatever.
now it's going to be. Yeah, like and it's I don't know. That's the messy part. But then you have Marvel who's just, pumping them out here or there. I feel I don't know. This might be weird, but like if Marvel was just as consistent as DC, like we would be eager to go see the film because
Hmm.
it's so rare they come out. Like
I
they
know,
actually
right?
happen, you know? Um but I mean that's a totally different. That's just,
Yeah.
business to business type of thing.
But the other thing I was gonna say real quick that kind of bugs me is, and let me preface with, I love plenty of superheroes, obviously, and I'm always down to watch a damn good Batman movie or Spider-Man movie. But there's this weird inconsistency of movies coming out for like major A-list comic book characters, and then like other really random characters. Like for instance, I think there's a new Batman movie every year from DC in terms of like animated. and
Oh
like
yeah,
live action.
I'd say
And
so.
which is fine. That's their cash cow. They, they're gonna want to pump those out and make money, and that's okay. But the thing is, like after a while, you're like, okay, I've seen this and I've seen this, and then you're kind of like, what about the other characters? And that's why I think something like Shang-Chi, when that's coming out, I think that's awesome because that's a character I don't really know about. I've only read one Shang-Chi book, and that was the what's it called? Secret Wars, Jonathan Hickman.
Oh okay, yeah, I know what you're
Uh
talking about. I read that too. Yeah,
when they did all those like miniseries, and there
uh,
was like a Masters of Kung Fu one that was like 2 or 3 issues, and that's about it. I think the character was in that, but that's like the closest thing I got, And I'm excited to see the movie because a it's based in San Francisco, so fuck yeah, I'm down with that.
yeah,
Like I want to see what they get wrong about the city, of course.
yeah. Like
Yeah,
Venom. Yeah,
yeah. But it's like I'm down with that. And this is a character and like a villain. I have no idea what's going on. So this is gonna be awesome. Like I'm prepared to see what that is. And then on the other hand, we got like, I don't know, the new Spider-Man movie, which looks awesome, and all these other characters. But it's just like I've seen these characters before. How many Spider-Man movies have you seen at this point?
yeah.
You
It's
know?
that shuffleboard of just like not giving us enough, and I think maybe that's another issue compared to our reading list. We're so diverse and bouncing around stuff. Like you kind of want that in what you're consuming. It's part of your diet, you know? And plus
Hmm.
it introduces you to new things. It like broadens your spectrum of the universe. You may not like the main characters, but if you read Next Wave Agents of Hate, you'd be like, "Damn, this is the coolest superhero team I've ever
Yeah.
checked out." There you go. Animated movies may be more based off of these things. They see how that goes and then go from there. Like give us some live action, dip them into stuff. Like I have a big problem with the modern Spider-Man movies. I don't like this whole Spider-Man worldwide thing. I do like my kind of more centralized Spider-Man,
Hmm.
but that goes into I don't feel like they've really mastered
Peter
a
on
lot of
screen.
these characters. Well, a lot of these characters on screen to translate well for people to dive into the comics and expect the same thing. Like we don't really
Hmm.
get a Dark Knight Detective Batman on screen, but we sure as hell get it in almost every comic he's in. You know.
Yeah, of course.
And even with Spidey, like I don't know, I think it's good that they started with a younger high school Spidey, but I feel like now they've just spun everything really fast. I don't know how they're gonna do the whole um, No Way Home or what's that One More Day storyline, like kind of
Oh,
twist on it.
one last day or whatever.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just like you didn't even give us much of the character as he was developing into Spider-Man. You know, like he got really thrashed around real quick and
Yeah.
still hasn't cemented himself. It's so off balance in some of these ways, I feel.
Hmm. Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, the whole Spider-Man movie thing is a whole different conversation within itself. I mean, don't get me started with the fandom for Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and
Oh
Tom
god, yeah.
Holland.
Oh,
Uh,
but
But
I mean, like I know what you mean on like with this movie coming out, like it's a new character and even we're being introduced to it.
yeah.
So branch into that, like bleed into that a little bit so you can get more revenue from these characters that aren't selling well
Hmm.
and then the characters that already automatically sell well, like you're still going to ride off of those.
Yeah, dude. I think it's no secret that there's so many comic book shows and movies because the amount of ideas and original properties are there. Like,
Yeah.
you know how dope like a Dead Man movie could be?
Yeah. Oh,
And that's just
100%.
me
Yeah.
speaking as like a fan of Dead Man because I think he's such a great character and there's not enough of him.
Well, I actually just heard, I think it might be a show, but Dead Man being in development as like a Tales of the Crypt kind of anthology.
And that's
Like
awesome.
that's fucking cool if
Yeah.
that happens, but it's another DC announcement that may never go anywhere, you
Same
know?
thing with like they were supposed to make Gotham Central into a TV show. You know how great that would be? For anybody who doesn't know, Gotham Central was like a mini series where it was like two perspectives of
Was it
cops,
Greg
and
Rucka and I
yeah, it
forgot
was
who else?
like
Yeah.
one issue would be the day shift, and then one issue after was the night shift.
Dude, that whole Joker storyline was just the craziest thing
So
ever.
I never finished it, but I'm just saying, as a TV show, you could do some awesome shit with that. Like
Yeah.
you could have back to back episodes doing the different perspectives. One episode during the day, one episode during the night, and you could even do the comic book approach where you have different teams working on the episodes.
Yeah, I mean, do the whole bring out Bullock and Montoya because they're barely getting recognition and they're
Yeah,
20, 30 years old, 40 years old, you know?
yeah. But
Um,
anywho, I'm
the
ready
next
to look
movie,
at this list. Sorry.
yeah. So that was the first character on this list because that's the next movie, or that just came out. That just came out. I haven't even seen Black Widow, dude. Uh, but you know, this is one that I'm like excited about because I know a lot of people don't really dig this one. But the Venom movies coming out, yeah, they're not like the most extraordinary and the best in a lot of ways. But it's our first incarnation of Venom on screen. Uh, and they brought him out as a solo character. Of course, there's legalities and ownership and whatnot involved. But I think it's interesting they're still pushing this route of him having his own series as a solo character. He's done it many times in the comics where it is just Venom. We talk about it every fucking episode how much we love the Venom run right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That's
but
the character that brought me onto the show.
yeah, exactly. Like it's very it's close for us. But I think it's just cool that they're dealing in this aspect and developing this universe without really having to include Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
He is the one character I feel like the one villain that's big enough that's had his own solo series in the comics that this could happen. You could go into Agent Venom and still not even really touch Spider-Man and kind of mess things
Oh
around and
yeah, I
whatnot.
mean
Yeah,
the Rick Remender Agent Venom stuff, like Venom is the main character. Like
yeah,
Spider-Man's not involved at all, really. I mean, you could say that too with like the Donny Cates run. Spider-Man isn't really involved until Absolute Carnage. So,
yeah. There you go.
yeah.
But I will say, look at the recommended reading
Oh my
for.
God, Jesus Christ! Spider-Man Maximum Carnage by J.M. DeMatteis and David Michelin.
I'm so sorry. If you guys
Michelini.
want to hear everything about that 14 issue run, go check out our
Uh,
last two
I
episodes.
was literally struggling to finish that series right before that episode. Like I was
Just
falling
like
behind so
crying,
much.
just
Yeah.
crying the entire time.
and and that's the thing, like these are 15 movies and they want you to read these like 200, 400 page books to prepare for them.
Dude, that's like 480 pages too. It's so much. Like it's so much. But Venom and Carnage putting them on the big screen, cool. They're finally giving us what we wanted: symbiotes. That's all we ever want in anything. Just give us symbiotes in the video games. Give us symbiotes in the comics. Give us give us symbiotes in the movie.
I
They
mean, yeah,
haven't done
symbiotes
it,
are cool,
and it's
but
like I'm glad that we at least have that. So two already upcoming that are pretty exciting. And the next one after this, I've been hyped about for a while, and this is the Eternals. Jack Kirby creation, first appearance 1976. It's somewhat of his. It's kind of his stuff that he did after the Fourth World, and he went back to Marvel, and this was his incarnation of the Fourth World into the Marvel universe. Um, I think I just got a mosquito. Hell yeah. But the essential readings: Eternals by Jack Kirby, the complete collection, and Eternals by Neil Gaiman. So I will tell you right now, both of those are pretty long, and the Neil Gaiman one is readable, I'd say, but it is a bit dense. Definitely, I have it. I just read it recently. Maybe we could do it for the show, but it does have John Romita Jr.'s art, which I'm not the biggest fan
uh
of.
we've both explained how we're not too fond of that.
Lovely guy, super nice,
All right, so if you
sweetheart.
want to read a hardcover of Jack Kirby Eternals, and this is all Amazon prices, so it
Mm.
fluctuates depending on where you purchase from. A hardcover is $76.99. A paperback, $35.99. But again, on Comixology, and this is how Amazon gets you, $9.99.
Ooh, there you go,
I mean,
digital.
yeah, like goddamn.
But this is already just like November. You know what I mean? So this is every month we're getting a superhero movie right now, the way they're coming back out.
Yeah.
Because in December we have Spider-Man No Way Home, and I already kind of shared my thoughts on this a little while ago. But I'm just not really. I haven't been hyped for the Spider-Man movies. I've actually liked him more like in Avengers and Captain America than his
Mhm.
own solo films.
I mean, I thought the solo films are good because part of me is still like I'm a sucker for Spider-Man because the child in me loves the character, right?
Mm.
Um, and I do like the newer movies. I think they're doing cool stuff, but I don't know. Like, I'm confused why Spider-Man for all the crazy multiverse stuff.
Well, yeah, that's one thing to bring. I guess they want to do the Spider Verse thing that Sony's doing to rake in on that cash because it did so well for Sony. But I just don't. Like I said, I feel like they've accelerated the Spidey way too quickly, and it's just kind of spun out of control. And now we're in multiverses with Spider Man. Potentially, we don't know the whole story, but it's looking that way for sure. In the sense of combining all these other universes and opening up more. This is the Flashpoint movie before Flashpoint comes out,
Yeah,
essentially.
basically.
So I just it's hard for me to accept the Spidey. I feel like he's the Batman and Robin of the Marvel universe in the sense of like everything Spidey does in these movies is just another action figure. He has 5 or 6 suits. None of them are his original suit, and he has these crazy gadgets that all are very marketable. And I don't think it does anything for Spider-Man. I don't think he's really become Spider-Man yet. He hasn't done anything. I'm sorry,
Hasn't done
but
anything.
like I don't feel like I don't feel like he had any. Of course, he was already somewhat barely established when when he was first appeared in the MCU, but still, I just don't think he's like earned his tights yet. He's going
Hmm.
from mech suits, but he hasn't earned his tights yet.
Yeah, I can see that. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll watch it, and if we like it, we like it. You know.
Yeah, yeah, of course, yeah,
The essential reading is kind of confusing though. Spider Verse, really? For anybody out there who doesn't know what Spider Verse is, the actual Spider Verse in the comics is like I forget the name of the villain, but it's like these vampiric
yeah,
beings that like suck the life force out of Spider-Man characters and they hunt them through the multiverse. So all the different Spider-Man, Spider people, I guess I should say, they all have to like go into the 616 universe because Peter is like the main one, of course. So
yeah,
they go to him for help and they all work together to fight these characters.
yeah. I honestly, that's awesome that you summed that up because I started reading that like 4 or 5 years ago, and I was so confused about what was going on,
Oh,
and
dude, I
because of
read it when
that,
it came out.
yeah, I mean, because I picked up the trade, the collected edition, and I just started off of that. And you really should read the like Road to Spider Verse or whatever.
Yeah, Spider Verse is
But
actually dope. It's pretty crazy.
yeah, it was fun. I just didn't get what was going on with that villain and whatnot, and where he came from and whatnot. So that's one of those things. Like, how is that your essential when it just happens to be somewhat similar, but it has nothing to do with it, just like the concept in a sense, and that's it.
Hmm.
But I mean, maybe they'll tie it in with this next movie, Morbius.
Maybe, who
It's
knows?
like the forgotten about
I
like
know, dude. Like
Sony
that got
film.
announced how long ago?
Yeah, this has been. I was of course I was curious about it, and then I rewatched some classic Spider-Man episodes and realized how cheesy it was. But
I will say I think it's dope. This comes back to like I think it's cool that they're finally diving into other characters. Like I think Morbius is a perfect example of like he's kind of known, kind of not, but like
mhm.
a little different to the point where like you can have a completely original movie and everything.
Yeah, definitely. No, yeah, for sure. That's what I'm. It's like Venom. You know what I mean? I like how they're doing that Sony universe right now for some reason. It just seems to be more interesting. I don't. I mean, the films probably aren't gonna be that great. The first Venom, I had my gripes, but I had fun with it though, which is more important when you're looking at a superhero movie. You're kind of looking for fun in that sense. Unlike this next movie, that's gonna get very dramatic and be a film, the Batman. I am definitely excited for it, but I don't feel like I'm excited as I should be for having
Well,
like this new type of
everybody was
Batman.
excited when they saw the trailer.
Oh hell yeah! But like, don't you think the hype would have been higher if we haven't like really tasted Batman for a bit?
Yeah, that's the thing.
We're
Like,
not even over. We're not over Ben yet. Like
yeah,
we're
we're not over
still.
Batfleck. Uh, the recommended reading, Batman Year Two. Did you know that existed?
Actually, dude, I just check out our check out our TikTok or an Instagram because I just read that series and I do a 1 minute review on it. But Batman Year Two, that's one of Todd McFarlane's first works for Batman, and it's like really it's early in his career. You could tell just by how it looks and whatnot.
Wait, is this supposed to be a sequel to Year One?
Yes, and it's trash.
But wait, I thought
It's
the
trash.
Man Who Laughs or whatever was the sequel to Year One.
It might have. Well, this is like I don't know. Not maybe not like direct sequel to it, but it's definitely not a direct sequel because he's pretty well established in this one.
Yeah, The Man Who Laughs is it's kind of like the sequel to Year One. You've read that, right? That's the first
No,
Joker story. It's
I
the first
haven't actually.
appearance. It's not the first appearance, but it's like supposed to be the first time they meet Batman and Joker.
I haven't actually, which is
Oh,
crazy,
it's
right?
good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's by
but
Ed
no, year
Brubaker.
two is just like that continue, just like they have like Robin year one, and
Yeah.
then there's even a Batman like year four where Robin or year three is where Robin comes in. There was like a line like this
Hmm.
following that pattern. But that story's trash. I'm sorry. Please don't read
That
that. Don't use
story's
that
trash.
as like an essential reading. I just read it. I will save you the effort of those 4 issues, because I mean, there's a cool concept behind it. Behind the villain, he's kind of like a gray ghost esque, like classic person that used to defend Gotham, but he used to kill people, and Batman's hunting him down, and that part of the comic is pretty cool. But Bruce just happens to be dating that villain's daughter, and they don't realize it, and Bruce is just a total misogynistic. Like, it's just horrible. Like, the whole Bruce dating thing does not work out in that era. It's cringy. It's very cringy. But they do mix in who's the guy oh my gosh. Who's the guy that killed Batman's parents? Jack
Joe,
Napier.
no,
Oh,
Jack
Joe Chill,
Napier.
Joe Chill, Joe
Joe
Chill.
Chill. Jack Napier
Yeah.
was like the
The
name for Joker.
yeah, yeah, for just the movie, I think. But Joe Chill is actually in this comic, and Batman has to team up with him and like bring down the syndicate in a sense.
It's so
But
weird.
it's not the best. Not gonna lie. Go read year 1. Don't read year 2. Just read the Frank Miller one. Just ignore this, please. But also The Long Halloween, which is, I mean, it's a great book. I haven't read it in a
Yeah,
while, but it's always
I
good.
I watched the movie recently.
I've only seen part 1, but I really liked it.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Great stuff.
Let's see.
Spinning the clock a bit, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And this is where we all kind of thought the multiverse was going to, I mean, it's implied in the damn name. But I think it's cool they're doing Doctor Strange. At this point, I don't even care. Like, I just want Doctor Strange. It's been so long. The first film was pretty cool. It was all right. But
I
I
think
feel
the
like
the
they could
first film
go.
was a nice taste of what's to come.
Yes, exactly. Like, I want to see some Steve Ditko like insanity, like when it comes to Doctor Strange. And I think that's the direction we're gonna go in. So this one, I will say, I'm very hyped for. And the recommended reading for it, Epic Collection, A Separate Reality. Oh, see this. I like how they even put this warning. This film is probably not based on anything specific, but this collection includes some classic and trippy trips to another reality. So, I think that's a good taste of what you can expect from the Doctor.
Yeah, I think Doctor Strange was the character I feel like was the one that's supposed to like set off everything in like the weird into motion.
Mm-hmm. And granted, dude, like we're on what, number 9 right now,
Mm-hmm.
and we're only in May of next year. That's insane. Like,
Jesus
this is
Christ.
so much, and that's the whole thing. A lot of these movies are cool. Thor: Love and Thunder, so hyped for that. I want to see Gore. I want to see Homegirl turn into Jane Foster turn into Thor. I'm super excited for that. But like that this is just up to May. This is like 6-8 months ahead. That's it.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
But I mean, Thor, I'm hyped about. Super hyped. I mean,
Thor, I don't know. I'm always back and forth with Thor in the movies. I feel like in the MCU they had to change him because no one liked the original incarnation. But then, like Ragnarok, great film, horrible adaptation.
oh yeah, I agree. Actually, I didn't care for the film too much.
Really?
Yeah, I really like wasn't that. It just felt so Marvel forced, and I think that's, again, you see so many Marvel movies back to back, they just start to all feel like a
The same.
jumble. Yeah, the same. Although that was the movie I felt gave the Jack Kirby aesthetic like no other. Like, nobody's ever come close, and we've been seeing Jack Kirby creations this entire time. But Ragnarok was really when we saw Jack Kirby on the big screen,
Mm-hmm.
and just the details and the designs. I will 100% give him that. But that's about it. I really didn't think Ragnarok was. It had moments that were pretty cool, but that's my. Nobody ever agrees with me on that, but I could just be burnt out at that point. I
Yeah.
forgot what else came out before it, but yeah, that was my thing about it. However, I'm still gonna see Love and Thunder. I'm still pretty excited for that because I want to see what Taka can do as he continues down this path. And this is his second Thor. What he's vibed it a bit, and how he's gonna shake things up because he's an amazing filmmaker. So,
Mm-hmm.
the next movie, DC League of Super Pets. I mean, this is just like a classic kid movie. Like, if I catch it,
Oh,
I'll
dude,
watch it on HBO Max. Like,
I'm hyped because I love animals, but I like shit like this personally.
yeah,
Like
no, I mean, it's like a fun thing, and it's
it's
having.
different too.
Yeah, yeah, it's not.
Did you see the cast for it?
Yeah, the cast is hilarious for it, dude. Uh, They have let me see if they even show it here. It has The Rock. Oh, Kevin Hart is isn't Kevin Hart Batman or something? And then The Rock is like crypto.
Crypto. You got Kate McKinnon, John Krasinski. I don't know. Keanu Reeves. I don't know the rest.
Oh, nice. I did not know Keanu Reeves was in it.
Yeah, Kevin Hart is gonna be Bat Hound. He's gonna be Ace.
But I mean, it's a good animated movie, and they haven't put all the other animated movies on here. I don't think, because I'm sure there's more. Like Injustice is coming out in a few weeks, and I'm curious about it for sure. But I am kind of fried out on the Injustice.
The evil Superman stuff.
Yeah, it's just they spun that really hard.
Yeah.
Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I have no clue what to think about this movie right now.
Wait, next on the list. Oh yeah. Wait, why does this list say that, but then they talk about Riri Williams at the same time?
Yeah, Invisible Iron Man, Ironheart. What the heck? Yeah,
I
they
think
have the
this
wrong
might be a
cover up
typo.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think they messed up the title of. They might have switched around the title of the article and like it's what it's about. They probably meant to put like Invincible Iron Man, but it says Black Panther, and then it talks about Riri Williams.
yeah, that's weird. Well, either way, I'm not
Oh,
too.
okay. Well, the Black Panther one, I have no idea what to expect.
Yeah, I
You
really dug
know,
the first movie, but
and the fact that he passed away, rest in
yeah,
peace. People were definitely like, we're telling Marvel like, you gotta figure it like out what to do because going about it a certain way could really mess things up.
yeah, and I feel like I mean, if they open this multiverse door, that's an exit out too, you know. But hey, if they pull her into Black Panther and have like a story that makes sense, good luck to you, writers. Uh, I mean, by all means, I'll ride with it. If they pull it off, they pull it off.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you just they still have the same team making it, right?
Yeah, I believe so. So I
Let me see
mean,
real
there's a lot
quick.
of potential there.
Let me see real quick. Okay, let's see. We got yeah, Ryan Coogler's directing and writing it.
There you go. So I mean, there's a lot of hope for that for sure. But I mean, it's one of those things. Man, just pull it off, like please, like
Yeah,
just
well,
do it
I
justice,
think people can understand that it's a bit of a difficult spot to be in, when your
Yeah,
lead passes away.
and there's like no way to just like, I don't know. It's not
Yeah, I wouldn't know how to go around that,
that
like it's like
universe. Well, it's also how they shape that Marvel universe. Like, there's no if something happens to half of those actors, like how do you just finish them? Like it's super hard when you're dedicated to so many films, and it's super hard when like you're already a face known for that, and the universe is ongoing. So this was a major. I mean, that's life. Things happen, unfortunately, but this was just like a major speed bump that I don't even think they were ready for, or had a plan B for,
well, no one
just
really
because
knew
they
that he
had
was sick.
Well, I mean, they haven't 10 years probably without really any hiccups except for Home Slice War Machine.
Well,
And that,
also
like, cast
Edward
change up.
Norton.
Oh, yeah, but we forget that whole film is, like, part of this MCU and whatnot, too.
Yeah, well, yeah. I imagine the movie will be good. Everybody working on it's going to do their best to make sure it respects, Chadwick Boseman, and
Yeah,
hopefully, they pull off a story that everyone can agree with.
yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
And same thing story-wise with Black Adam. Dude, I literally just want to see The Rock in the Black Adam
My
costume.
only thing is like he's hyping that up way too much for me.
Yeah, I'm so hyped for it. Dude, he's hyped. He's Black Adam. Like,
He's hyped, but like Black Adam, I don't know, he's a dope villain, but it was never like someone I was like, "Whoa, I need a movie now." But, like I was saying earlier, it's different characters, so screw it. I'll go with it.
yeah, I think that's the way I feel about it too, is because I have like one Black Adam trade paperback from the JSA run with Jeff Johns and stuff like that, where Alex Ross was doing some covers. But I mean, other than the 52 series, I haven't read much of Black Adam himself. So I'm very curious. I want to see how they pull it off. I want to see how they mix it into things or put it in a different part of this DC multiverse or whatever's going on, this timeline they
Hmm.
have. So it's going to be again, it's kind of like Black Panther. I don't really know much about it going in because I don't know where it takes place.
Yeah,
Maybe
I'm
if I
just
had a
as lost as
little,
you.
yeah, exactly. So we'll see about it. But I mean, I just it's a fucking rock. I'm super hyped for the
Yeah,
rock.
I'm down to see how it looks. It's just, I he's like trying to like restore the Snyderverse at the same time, and I'm like,
Oh,
here
is
we
he?
go
I didn't know
again.
that.
He was talking because he wants like Black Adam and Superman to fight or something like that.
And they should just do that. Don't even restore the Snyderverse. Just give him Henry.
Either way, I'm down
Make
with
it
the
a
idea. I'm down with the
make.
Rock being in it.
You know what DC doesn't have, and I think that's what's really messed them up, is that Marvel has these films like they're pieces, and then they have like a giant movie. Like it's like the main event. The
Hmm.
the what do you call it in comic books? I'm so tired. Um, at the big event. It's like an event. It's just an event, an event series. But Marvel does that. You have Age of Ultron. It's all the Avenger movies, basically. Like those are their event movies, where things really go down. And DC just doesn't. They don't. They haven't tied things up, so you don't really have these things come together very well. And they've tripped so hard. It's like all these DC movies coming out. That's the thing about it. You're like, where does this mix in? Does it mix in? And this whole layout they have, multiple Batmans. That's what makes it so sloppy. It just feels
Hmm.
splattered on
Well,
instead of.
they just keep like throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah, they're just throwing too hard at this point. I feel like if
Oh yeah.
anything, at least Marvel, I can understand. Like we said, the consecutive plan going down with every film, and you pretty much can expect it, and you could even miss a couple and then still get back on your feet. But with certain DC, you're just like, what have I missed? What's come out? What got canceled? I thought this was announced. Like, I'm surprised Black Adam is gonna happen. That's why this thought came about. Black Adam has been announced for so long. I never thought it would actually pull through after a point.
Hmm. Well, it's happening, and I think it's because of him mainly just being the driving force behind it. But
That's true too. The Rock does have that
he
power.
he is he is hyping it up a little too much for me. But like I said, I'm down to see it still. I just think like I need to like not read about it and just wait till it comes out.
Well, you have a little less than a year
Yeah, I know, right?
because in 1 year, as of now, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse #2 comes out, which I feel has been a respected gap since the first one.
Oh, dude, they do whatever they can to make this movie amazing because the first Spider Verse movie is literally the greatest comic book movie in my opinion.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's just
I
it's too
I will
brilliant.
die on that hill. I will always say like Spider Verse, Enter the Spider Verse is peak like comic book film,
Yes.
like almost perfection. It's crazy to me, like how good that movie really is, and how it nails like it's like so perfectly crafted to the point where it's like a nice film, but also a nice adaptation.
No, yeah, 100%. I think we'll do a commentary right before the new movie comes out just to kind of get ourselves hyped up for some Spidey action because that's a long awaited kind of commentary we've put off for a bit because we really want to just like have a good time with it.
Well, the thing is with good movies too, when we watch commentaries, we just kind of sit there silently.
Yeah, we just get too zoned out. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is one of them. But we have a year till the second one comes out because then barely you have the Flash, November 2022. So now it's crazy. Like, of course, this is a year out, and they have to be kind of flexible when they announce other things. Other things may come out by now. This is a year away, so it's like hopefully this sticks. But
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm not too. I mean, I'm excited for it, but again, like you said, they're hyping up so much about it now. They've been hyping it up for a year since fandom last year, and it doesn't come out for another year. It's like we don't need to know. Like Marvel, again, Marvel's good, throwing out a hint, but not showing you anything until right before the movie comes out. Like it kind of keeps you teased, and you kind of do want it when it gets closer.
But they've been hyping up this Flash movie fucking since day one.
Yeah, because it's not even like I mean, a year since this version has been getting hyped up, but like I can't even remember the last time or when they actually announced a Flash movie with Ezra. I want to say
Uh-huh.
that was closer to 3 to 4 years ago for sure.
And I still don't like him as Flash.
I don't either. I'm not a.
Yeah,
He'd have to really change my mind on this one, but
yeah.
I don't think so. It kind of cemented it, even with the Snyder cut. But again, someone that I haven't really cared about, we have the Marvels coming out. And I just read Next Wave Agents of Hate, and it had Monica Rambeau as the leading character in that book, and I was quite surprised in how cool and fun she was. And I've enjoyed her in WandaVision, so I'm wondering if she is going to be the driving force behind this movie. If what's her name? Was it Kamala Khan or Kamala Khan?
Kamala.
Kamala. I mean, I actually just picked up one of her miniseries. I'm rereading that soon. But if she's gonna have any play in with it, because her show's coming out, I think
Mm-hmm.
around this time as well, so that'll probably blend into this movie. But I did not care about the first Captain Marvel. Like I could not, I can't stand Brie Larson. I'm so sorry, but I just cannot stand
It's
Brie
funny because
Larson.
right now Captain Marvel is some of the best Marvel I'm reading.
Really,
Yeah, by Kelly Thompson.
I got to check it out for sure, just to redeem the character. Because now it just,
She has the longest ongoing series right now for Captain
yeah,
Marvel. Yeah.
I've heard great stuff about it too. I need to do something about it because I feel so bad that I just despise Captain Marvel all because Brie Larson
I
did such a bad
with
job.
with this movie, I have no idea besides the recommended reading they have here what you could read to prepare for it because it's like all three of them. And I'm kind of like, okay, they're just kind of squishing them into one movie. So I'm curious to see what happens after. Because what I would think would work is you have them all in this movie, and then you kind of, I guess, do that DCEU approach where everybody gets their own movie after.
Yeah, there you go. Um, you know, I kind of skipped over some of the recommended reading for a lot of these because once the Wakanda one threw us off, but Black Adam had the power of Shazam, which I'm surprised. I think there's probably better Black Adam stories out there, but I guess just to give a basic understanding of the character,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was just the beginning Miles Morales stuff, which is shocking because I feel like that'd be the first one since he was introduced. Flashpoint is of course Flashpoint, and the Marvels, like you said, it's a handful. Captain Marvel
Yeah.
by Monica Rambeau by Roger Stern and
Keep in
David
mind to
Michelinie.
prepare for this movie, you'd have to watch the MCU films, the WandaVision, and then you'd have to watch Kamala Khan. And then if you want to read stuff, you'd have to read the Monica Rambeau stuff, the Captain Marvel stuff, and the Miss Marvel stuff.
That's very true. I
Yeah.
hadn't
Do you
considered
really
that.
want to like prepare? I guess you could say.
Yeah, if you want to be ready and understanding going into that film.
Yeah.
Well, see that there again, the homework aspect behind all of this. That's what drives us crazy about it. The last film that's kind of somewhat announced right now, Aquaman, The Lost Kingdom, December 16, 2022. This is a little over a year for us from this point. And I mean, cool. New 52, essential reading, The Trench. All right, nice. I think it's going to be pretty fun. I'm pretty hyped about it. I loved James Wan's Aquaman, and I loved, Home Slice. Jason Momoa. Sorry about that.
Is Aquaman? Yeah. I
Yeah.
was shocked how good that movie really was. So I'm excited to
Mm-hmm.
see how this looks. I will
Exactly.
not
That's
be
the thing.
doing any essential reading.
Yeah.
I'm good off Aquaman right now. But I'll watch the movie.
So it's like, I think that's the thing about it. Just really looking at what's coming out and by these two major companies, because this isn't including like indie films or indie superhero films, and we know there's going to be some sprinkled in. This is really just the Marvel DC slate,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. Is it you're not even considering other, like we said, TV shows, other independent publisher movies coming out, and it's like how do you keep up with all this and still expect comic book sales to be, driving? How do you expect comic books to be thriving right now when you're just
Mm-hmm.
giving them every type of form of media so they don't have to read, they don't have to like go to their shop, they can make it as convenient to like watch and consume as possible? And why bother with the comics at a certain point? Like what's going to be driving people to learn more? And if you don't like the film, like I just said, Brie Larson made me not really care about Captain Marvel, and I know that happens to a lot of people where they don't like a certain character or how a character was portrayed for whatever reason, and it just totally turns them off from, like, why would they want to pick up a book and see if it's
Mm-hmm.
proven wrong? You have to really kind of get pushed and convinced or just like surprised at some point to check it out. But I don't know, do you think that has an effect at that certain point?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's different. That's the thing. Everybody's perspectives or opinions are different. So it's one of those things like you may be feeling that way, but you got someone like Kamran who's like super excited to see Aquaman and doesn't care.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know, I just feel like it's an overconsumption of like trying to get everything down if you're trying to also keep up with the books and
Hmm.
consume these like other
Well,
forms.
like I was saying, for some people, this is all they do. Some people, like, yeah, we read a lot of comics, we watch a lot of movies and TV shows, but for some people out there, they're all they do is just read superhero books and then watch the movies.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
very true. Yeah, so it's more of an open net. Yeah,
So, I mean, I'm not trying to say, it's definitely a lot to consume. Personally, I think so. So that's where I would agree with you. But, these are making money for a reason.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's kind of crazy because then, I mean, between all this, just the the amount, I guess, like financially, when you think about, you have to be subscribed to Disney Plus, you have to have HBO Max, you're going to the theater every so while. Sometimes, like the way theaters are operating are kind of up and down, and then you're buying weekly issues, and I'm trying to think of what else you'd have to purchase just to like consume everything. Or if I guess if you collect DVDs and all that type of stuff at some point,
Yeah.
there's that too. So yeah, it is definitely, it's just insane how comic books have just turned into this,
Hmm.
before the
Hmm.
MCU
Hmm.
really took off. Like, and how long is it gonna go? When is Marvel gonna just like
When's the
cut
crash?
this? Yeah, when's the crash, and how is Marvel gonna end all this and like restart all everything? You know what I mean? Like, how
Hmm.
or do you think it'll be continuous and just kind of be phase
Hey, man,
17?
the way it's looking is like they're going all the way in. Disney Plus has only skyrocketed. I mean, look how many people are going crazy for Loki and WandaVision and Falcon and
Yeah,
Winter Soldier. Like those are pulling in cash and views. And I think as long as there's a demand, there's always going to be like content.
mm-hmm.
I mean, the way I look at it is Disney Plus is slowly becoming a network because you have like Star Wars stuff coming out on Wednesday, you have or like Friday, then you have Marvel stuff coming out Wednesday, then Disney stuff Monday. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah, I see what you mean there. Yeah, no, it's very true. Yeah, yeah,
they're
it's definitely become like the
creating,
network.
yeah, they're creating their own network on the app, and like they need to make this constant influx of content to keep people subscribed and happy. So I could totally see like even if there is a crash, I could see them creating different types of movies and TV shows just to accommodate that crash.
I could see that.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I can kind of see what you mean. Like, yeah, when's the crash gonna happen? Or like, are we gonna be fed up when we hit phase 22? But it doesn't matter what we think if the majority is gonna win. If it's making money, then it's gonna make money.
Yeah, I'm just curious if how long the drive will be with like other generations too.
Hmm.
Um I'm curious to see how, I guess, younger people are viewing these type of films, and how, once we get older and we kind of start, getting too busy to watch and keep up with everything, how it's going to transition to keep it fresh and not having to go to Iron Man from 2000 like whatever 5 or whatever,
Hmm.
and build up into the phase that they're at right now.
Yeah.
I guess the homework aspect for me, for a completionist, I feel would be like terrifying. Like that's what I mean. Like like it's gonna have to end like at 50 or something, because at some point someone's
Mm.
gonna be like, all right, we're gonna have a week of just showing all the Marvel films to get ready for Avengers 8.
Avengers 8. Well, yeah, that's the thing. You can kind of look at comics how they got through that. Like, Spider-Man's existed over 50 years at this point. So
Hmm.
a character like that, they just kind of do the whole Peter Parker was a regular teenager until he was bitten by a radioactive spider. And I can see the
Oh, it's
movies
just like
becoming that
common
where,
knowledge at that point. I see what you
yeah,
mean. Yeah.
the
Okay.
whole modern mythology where everybody knows, like
Hmm.
when you watch the movie, you may need to do your homework, but they could just easily do that whole previously from Avengers 25, like,
Yeah. No, that's very true. That's very very true. Um. I mean, and there's still stuff I'm hyped about. Fantastic Four. Like, I want to see. I'm so excited for
I
that.
want to see
Like,
Doom become the villain, the next major villain.
yeah, exactly. Something insane. I want to see Silver
Yeah.
Surfer. I want to see Galactus. There's so much I want to see what they can pull off, and just kind of get like, I don't know, vengeance or avenged for what we saw in previous incarnations
Oh
of some of these
man,
characters.
the previous two Fantastic Four movies.
Yeah, just I can't wait to do commentaries on those.
I know, right?
But which one of these movies are you most excited to see?
Spider-Verse 2, for sure, because I genuinely love that first movie. But I think when it comes to, I guess, the live action ones, They didn't even put it on this list, but I'm actually excited to see the Hawkeye show. That's what I want
Oh,
to see.
nice. Yeah,
That's what I actually really want to see.
I want to get that complete collection coming out for because it's based off the Matt Fraction stuff. I'm
Yeah.
super excited to check that out.
But this list, I guess the movie I'm excited to see would be. Hmm, I'm more curious to see how Black Panther turns out.
Okay, that makes sense. I can see that.
Yeah. What about you?
Um, I'm gonna be really wimpy, and after all my complaining, I'm really excited to see the Batman. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
really
a good
curious.
Batman film is still a good Batman film.
Yeah, that's the thing, and I just want to see. This seems to give me the flavor I've wanted for Batman for a long time. So yeah, I'm gonna. No matter how much I
Hey,
complain, I'm still gonna be
enjoy it while it
fanboying.
lasts.
Yeah, But this is all things aside. I mean, there's some great other stuff that everyone should be checking out there. Can you think of any indie movies coming out at the top of your head that are upcoming
Mm,
besides the Toxic Avenger?
the Toxic Avenger. I don't know of any coming out.
Yeah, I really can't think of anything that's for sure in development, I guess.
Let's
And this
see.
isn't even including like the Batgirl movie that's been announced and
Mm-hmm.
all that type of stuff and how they're gonna mix all those things together. But I don't think they've given a release date. I think they've just said it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm looking for like a website that gives me like indie movies, and
Right? That's another thing. Like, some of
Jesus,
these.
I don't even know if there's any that are coming out right now.
All I can think of is the Toxic Avenger off the top of my head.
They are remaking that, huh?
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude!
Da-da-da.
They literally. I just saw another website with the same exact list.
Oh god, that's horrible. And see, that's another thing. Like, we should. I don't know. But I mean, of course, this is Warner Brothers and stuff like that. But it's sad that some of these are kind of hard to come by, unless we're just like not in that market. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
that could just be our fault too.
Yep. I don't see any indie comic book movies like upcoming lists. It's just all Marvel, DC.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And we didn't even go over any half of these too. I'm looking at other stuff that's been announced. Like, I mean, there's 2023 stuff already kind of planned out and all sorts of things. So I mean, that's just insane. Like, absolutely insane. So, well, I mean, that's our input on it. Let us know what you guys think about all these superhero movies and how you control your consumption. Because for us, it's fun and we try so hard. But you know what? We can only do so much at once.
You can only watch
Um,
so much.
yeah, because I mean, then there's TV shows like Sandman coming out soon that I'm gonna binge in like 2 days. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm super excited for that. Oh man, there's so many movies coming. All right, I'm just gonna stop because there's just this list is like on number 50 already. I'm on 48, 49, 50. Announced upcoming superhero movies. There's 120. 120
120.
like announced, and that's TV shows like Adam Strange and stuff like that. Like,
Imagine if you paid for every single one in theaters.
that's a
It's like
tax write off right there.
the tax write-off.
All right, guys. Well, I mean, dude, thanks for having this discussion. We've really never talked about what we think about just consuming all this before.
Mm-hmm.
And next episode, we're going to talk about superheroes and video games again. It's been a while. We got to touch
Yeah.
up on the subject, and we have a lot of things to say. So we will see you next time. And Brandon, thanks for hanging.
Thanks for having me.